right, guys, welcome to episode 3. We've got Patrick, Josh, and Brian. Today's topics, golf feels like it's splitting into a few different worlds right now. On one side, everything is optimized, speed, data, distance, outcomes. On the other, maybe some of the most enjoyable golf we've watched all year came from the Grant Thornton Invitational and other off-season events. At the same time, we're looking at YouTube golf. It's pumping out scrambles, gimmicks, crossover events, and feels like a major every week. Tonight, we're asking a simple question. What actually makes golf fun to watch and play in 2025? What events did you play in? What formats do you love? Where did you find them? And an ongoing topic, golf and health, where today we talk about why younger golfers are not just finding the game, but sticking with it.
Continuing on our theme from last episode, we are still heading towards 200 subscribers on YouTube. We will be giving away the Rapsodo MLM1 launch monitor. I can speak to this a little bit. I've been using it the last few weeks with a speed training program, the Speed Toad, for those of you that are interested. More to come on that, on my progress and chasing speed. It's probably not going to teach me how to not three-putt, but good tool, especially here in the off season. Again, we will be giving this away to one of the first 200 YouTube subscribers. So get in while you got a good shot.
So if you want a chance to win, like, comment, subscribe. You got great odds right now.
I like it because it's a great gateway drug into what I'm sure will be a simulator in my house one day. Josh has one. Brian has one. I've got the Rapsodo, in addition to the TrackMan in my club, but this is the next step towards getting one in my own house. So starting off the new to us segment this week, the Grant Thornton Invitational took place this past weekend, a 3-day tournament. Again, kind of scratching on that team format that we as the golf world, not the small we, the big we, are trying to figure out if it's what we love or not. You've got live team format, obviously. You have the later season. This is the later season entry into the team golf format on the PGA side, the Grant Thornton, and then earlier on in the season, I believe this year's champions of the Zurich were did Rory and Lowry win it this year, or was that last year?
It was the year before 2025. It was 2024.
Okay. But anyway, 2-man format. Grant Thornton being a little bit different because it is mixed. So Andrew Novak and Lauren Coughlin won this year with the tournament record 28 under par, again, over 3 days.
That's interesting you bring that up because Novak was the one that won with Ben Griffin on the Zurich in 25.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So Novak's just the king of team events.
Team golf.
Now, I think that this is a prequel to the Olympics, right? So this is kind of giving us that new format, the men's versus women. I think that the format was little...
Men versus women.
Or men, the men and women playing together, excuse me. And so prequel to the Olympics, I think that the players all looked relaxed. They looked like they were enjoying themselves. They were having fun. I think that was one of the positives to come out of this. I think the format was a little confusing, though. It just didn't really feel like it flowed to me from start to finish. But for the golfing world, it's a win when people come out and they look like they're having a good time. It felt relatable.
And the format for the Olympics is 2 days, right?
2 days.
I'm going back to
Grant Thornton's a 3-day event, 54 holes, much like Live. And you've got your playing partners, and it's a different format per day. It's, they cycle through the typical formats that you see, except for match play, because it ends up being a specific stroke under par on this one.
Yeah, I mean, they crushed. They shot 57 in the scramble on Friday, followed up by a round of 68, an alt shot, and a 63. So I mean, they were definitely cooking. Interesting thing about this tournament in particular, again, it's late season. The purse wasn't massive. It was a $4 million purse. I think the winner's share was $1 million. So each of them took home a $500,000 check. This actually was Lauren Coughlin's single largest payday of her career.
That's half my notes.
So
it's crazy.
Wait, it gets better. So Andrew Novak and Lauren Coughlin, the champions of this year's Grant Thornton, 2024 tour wins. Lauren Coughlin, anyone?
She won the Scottish Open and the Canadian Open.
She won twice in 24.
So what was her biggest payday going into this?
We're getting there. Andrew Novak, PGA Tour wins this year. Or sorry, in 24. In 24.
The Zurich and
in 24 he won
did
0.
Win a second one.
He did not win in 24.
Yeah, no, not 24.
2024 earnings. Lauren Coughlin, 1.87 million. Andrew Novak, 1.5 million. 2025 earnings to date. Lauren Coughlin about 1.5 million. Andrew Novak, 3.5 million. Career earnings, Lauren Coughlin, 2.8 million. Andrew Novak, a little over 4.
Yeah, the mixed event paid more than Coughlin's LPGA wins, her full wins, just this one mixed event.
It's wild.
Yeah, so $4 million purse, 1 million split two ways, 500K. And I have actual numbers there. She won 390,000 for the Canadian Women's Open. I mean, that's a pretty big event. The Scottish Open was, I think, in the high fours. And to give you guys an idea, Patrick's highlighting the difference between PGA Tour earnings, which obviously is a much larger watch sport, more sponsors, more money than the LPGA. But LPGA is coming up in a big way, I think. Here's the weird part, though. Here's the top 5 tournaments in the LPGA. Okay, the CME Group Tour Championship. The winner's share is $4 million. That's a big prize. That's comp to PGA Tour winnings. However, FedEx Cup is what, 25 million, something like that. So that's the difference, right? It's 5 times the amount of money on their Tour Championship versus our Tour Championship. And the Evian Championship, number 2, $1.2 million share. Chevron, number 3, at another $1.2 million share. These are their majors, right? And then the JM Eagle LA Championship, 562,500, which is right at the level of what she won in this dual event. The 5th, which is under it, 487,000 for the Annika, driven by Gainbridge. So interesting number facts there.
Well, right now you've got WNBA, LPGA right on the edge of breaking through to the mass audience. Caitlin Clark clearly is coming out and making an impact in the WNBA and getting Nike to sign massive deals with her. Here with
women's
this
sports are having a moment.
This tournament again was so relatable. I think it was fun to watch. I think that if you look at the engagement that was happening afterwards in the press conferences, all of the players just felt more relaxed, which made it more relatable, I think, to the average golfer. And personalities were just beating out, not perfection of play, but they still played great. Look at the winning scores, 28 under. That's a heck of a 3-day round right there. So this is going to be fun to see moving forward. Can this bring in a new audience? By new audience, I mean, can we have women starting to participate more in the engagement, where right now I think the sport's still dominated by men viewership and men participation?
Well, they have Nelly out on the TaylorMade YouTube channel all the time. They get her out with like Rory and Tiger.
Yep.
So I think
they're creating stars.
Yeah,
in
and
the LPGA.
in YouTube golf also.
We've also tried for years. Michelle Wee and other girls have tried to come out and play in PGA events,
Lydia
and it's
Ko.
been honestly a flop in the past because they can't compete with the distance and how good these guys have gotten out there. But this was one that it just felt like it was a good mixture. It was a better mixture. I don't think the format's exactly right, but this is the best to date that I've seen.
Yeah, look, they were having a great time. The money's pretty good for the LPGA. It helps cross-brand the two tours, which brings visibility to either newer PGA pros like Michael Brennan, who played with Charlie Hall, or, you get LPGA pros that get a little bit of stardom from this, that raises the image. And the more we see images raised and characters coming out from the LPGA tour, the more the money is going to follow.
Yeah. What happened with Charlie Hall's playing partner that backed out 48 hours before the event?
I don't know, and I honestly don't care because Michael Brennan's a fun storyline. He actually came in and won the new event on the PGA Tour, the Black Desert Championship in Utah, and I think he was not even supposed to play that event.
No, he was playing on the web.com before, right? And then
Michael
came
Brennan.
up, kind of won an event, got a invitation to play in that one.
I think he got a sponsor's invite, to the Black Desert, someone, went to bat for him. It's just really interesting how you can go from strugglingweb.com, almost like leaving the tour, not getting your PGA card, to a sponsor invite, winning. Now you're playing another event with Charlie Hull. His name is all over the board, and he's a PGA Tour pro now.
Yeah.
Period.
His world ranking is 35th.
Insane.
There was a little
Skyrocket.
controversy though with Charlie Hall and that guy, and he said that she was intense.
Yeah.
The one word, she's intense, and then she came out and she said, "I don't give a AF." At the end of the day, she was saying that I'm who I am.
Yeah.
She tries to claim that she's one of the most relaxed people in the world. I don't quite see it that way.
See, I think she is, but it's like her attitude is just her. That's just her, man. Like, she's relaxed, and what comes out, like, that's just her. She doesn't care.
No qualms about ripping a dart on the course, at least as of earlier this year. I think she switched to Zen.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a Melbourne player.
Smoking, yeah.
Come on now. That's the brand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the takeaway here, though, is golf is fun for all of us when we watch it. We've got elite players who don't care about their image and they go out and go have fun.
Yeah. I mean, it is men versus women. It's market dynamics and visibility giving mixed events currency.
Yeah.
Like, this should force a conversation about exposure, money distribution, and format value across golf.
Yeah. So I think all this is to say that maybe it's really, I know I said it earlier, but maybe it's not really a moment per se that women's sports are having, and maybe the moment is the new reality, right? I mean, you've got, to Josh's point, the WNBA with Caitlin Clark, you've got the LPGA now, income earnings are on the rise there. The NWSL is arguably the hottest women's sports league right now. Those franchises are expanding nationally and internationally, even more so than that. That's how the international clubs are starting to catch up with the U.S. and the U.S. Women's Development Program. But just a couple more statistics to just highlight this. In 2022, total prize money in the LPGA was $87.5 million. It was $427 million on the PGA. 10th on the money list was Sung J M at 6.2. Natalie Coughlin actually was 10th on the LPGA money list at 2. It's about 32% of the PGA earnings. 50th, Matt Fitzpatrick at 3.7 million. Lexi Thompson's earnings that year, $811K. 100th on that list, Daniel Berger, 1.6, versus Frida Kinhult at 209,000.
Look, like, we would all love to see those paychecks at the end of the day, but you got to think about this from a different angle. The way that they tax those type of earnings is different.
They're contractors.
Yeah, well, but it's also prize money that they win.
Yep.
So the IRS is going to pull a little bit more of that than you think. Plus, these people have tour expenses. They've got to pay caddies and coaches and mental coaches, the travel. And, it is not as sustainable. And this is a great conversation to have when we have Joe Ballard on the show. This guy has insights there that will really turn this conversation upside down. All right, guys. So topic number 2 today, we're going to talk about golf, health, fitness, the mental aspect of the game, like how it's helping us as players, or new people, entrants to the sport. What do they get out of this game? It is a mental reset. You're outside for a long time. And there's statistics to prove that this has tangible benefit to health, right? Not just physical health, but also mental health. Whether you're playing solo rounds, or playing with a group of guys, there's different tangible, walk away benefits from both of those. When you're out there zoned out as one player, walking around, obviously you get I think you cover 7 to 9 miles in a walking round, which is pretty strong. Plus you're outside for 4 to 6 hours, hopefully not 6 hours. Hopefully it's like 3 hours. But when you go out with the guys, you got 4 people, that's a totally different vibe. You're getting a totally different benefit from that. You can turn on the competition, or you can turn it into something that's very, casual, fun way to hang out with guys that are of all skill levels.
I mean, human beings are social creatures, and coming out of the pandemic, obviously the mental health issues that are still facing, and predominantly kids, but I mean, young people in general, I think golf's a great outlet for that. It's time, at a time where you aren't seeing as many, statistically, as many like young people having sex. They're not drinking as much. They just aren't as social as a result of a large convergence of things happening. I think golf is a great thing, obviously, for that. There's a university research study found that regular golfers can reduce their risk of dementia by 30%. But just what you can't quantify is exactly what you said, Brian. It's 4 friends getting out for a few hours. 1, you're outside. 2, you're getting some physical exercise. 3, just being social at the end of the day. And I think we need more of that. We need more mingling.
Well, if I hear Patrick right, I do want to say that. So when you pure that 1 4-iron from 230 out and it hits
Great
the
for my mental
green,
health.
then that's better than sex, is what you were just saying.
Arguably.
Depends on a lot of factors on that one,
I
Josh.
think the real answer is it depends.
Look, guys, at the end of the day, that golf is one of the last places that a man can truly be alone. It can be quiet. You're always improving, but there's no expectations for you. And that's what I love about going for golf.
Other than the expectations you set on yourself, right?
Yeah.
So actually you make a really good point, but you can quantify it. So there was 2018 Scandinavian Journal of Medicine and Science review that turned into a whole study that a Danish cohort did in 2020. Evidently, it shows 40% lower mortality rates than non-golfers, attributed partly to mental and social health benefits, not just physical activity. So I guess they teamed up with the RNA, the Royal and Ancient, which is, for the rest of you guys, essentially another USGA out there. And they published the findings noting that golf improves mood, self-esteem, cognitive engagement, social connection.
Yeah, guys, look, end of the day, we all know the health benefits of being able to walk, play golf. I'm one of those that I still like to walk more than I even like to ride in a golf cart. I just feel that I play better because emotionally and mentally, it allows me to calm down between like bad shots. But the other thing I love about golf from a societal perspective is I don't care, Patrick, what you do for a living, or you, Brian. When I'm out there on a golf course, only thing that matters is like, how did you play today?
What'd you shoot? What was the best shot you hit?
Yeah.
Tell me about it. Or, man, I saw that shot that you hit on number 13. That was incredible.
You didn't see the other 3 shots that I hit before that one, but that one shot I hit.
Yeah, that's right. That's what keeps us coming back, not the 3 after or the 3 before.
So let's break that down, right? We have solo rounds. We've got social rounds. In solo rounds, the studies have shown that increases mindfulness, reduces social performance and anxiety, serves as a decompression outlet. Social rounds improve emotional well-being, strengthen social identity, reduce loneliness, which is evidently a major Gen Z issue. And we're a little removed from Gen Z ourselves, but I've heard this, I've seen these studies. There are a loneliness epidemic amongst Gen Z, and maybe our generation is to blame for that, for creating social media, and putting all these tools out there that they grew up in, and now their identities are tied to their digital world. So this is a sport that really gives you the ability to, disconnect, right? It's talking about younger generation transition here. It's either old school pressure or it's a younger generation entering the sport, probably a different reason. Because I've noticed they're being drawn here for a different reason. There's still people that really want competition, but the majority of those younger players are coming in from a casual social aspect. They don't want to play a 4 or 6 hour round. They want to find a way to get it in 2 hours with their buddies and then go hit,
My uncle has an interesting take on this. He and his wife had just celebrated 56 years of marriage, and somebody asked him what the secret was to his marriage, and he said, "My wife doesn't play golf." And he's a great player. He's been on Golf Channel. He's one of the best players of his age group in South Carolina, and he's members at some of the best courses in the world. But that said, I think that golf, if you treat it as a therapy, you'll play better. And I think that it will make the experience more fun. But at the same time, guys, I know that we're going to talk about this throughout the round, but I would rather take the guaranteed 6 holes to 9 holes after a day of work than the maybe playing 18 on a Saturday.
Analyzing my own habits here, I have to think long and hard. Like, okay, I know I can't play 18 holes right now, but just playing 9 holes is okay.
Yeah. Your son's how old?
He's 5 months old.
And yours is 5 months old. So y'all are having to rethink
Yeah.
life in a different way right now. And time commitments is something that right now you have to prioritize your family and your young child. I can still go out whenever I want, but at the same time, the guys that I play with are like you, where y'all have families, you guys have children that you have to get back to, and it's winter time right now, so we have to be more careful about how early it's getting dark outside. I'd rather be able to know that I get a guaranteed 6 holes at the end of the day with you guys than the maybe 18.
It becomes harder for us to go out as new dads or dads of any age, really. Possibly it gets even harder. We don't know. We're new dads.
Yeah.
But I will say that if you can get your kid out there, no matter what age they are, put them in there, put them in the stroller. And if your course lets you walk with them around there, like do what you can. Like bring a bottle, bring the stuff you got to bring, go play some golf with your kid. There's even funny golf products that I guarantee you people buy, like a stroller that has a golf bag,
the club tubes. Yeah.
Tubes. And at my club, I will put the kid in the cart, strap him in there with some bungees, and look, if he starts crying a little bit, get him out, walk him around a little bit, skip a hole if I have to give myself a little bit of room, and then put him back in. Right? He likes the wind. They like being in the cart. They probably aren't going to cry, like unless they're hungry. That's about it.
You might cry, but
well,
depending on the shot that you just hit.
Yeah. You're playing with a different type of distraction, but you're also getting out there, and that goes back to that mental health type thing or physical health type thing. Just because you're a new dad doesn't mean you need to ignore the rest of your life. I think it's harder to balance it, much harder to balance it, but got to make the extra effort, kind of super dad it.
I found that when it was still reasonably warm outside, that so instead of going and playing 4, 6, or 8 holes or whatever, like I know I can go to the range for an hour and I'll just go hit balls for an hour and like work on 1 or 2 things. And it's my golf fix for a day or 2.
In future episodes, we're going to cover a lot of sides of the health part of this game, the wellness side, physical health, longevity, how you train, off course, on course. That's going to be another recurring segment we're going to do. Here we go. We're on topic number 4 today. We're hitting YouTube golf formats. What works? What's clickbait? What needs to die? We've seen formats and crossovers and majors and pretty much every version of YouTube golf you can see has probably been done in some format now. Josh, why don't you leave us off? You're our resident YouTube golf expert here.
Yeah, I did watch the Grassroots guys. And
all right.
So, and
how much Grass League did you watch?
I promised the audience that I would watch. I watched all the highlights. Under the lights, these guys going after it, the different cities that were involved. I love that Good owns a team. I love that Wyndham Clark owns a team. You're bringing in PGA players with YouTube golf. You had guys out there that were battling it out under the lights. And I think it was a total miss. I'm watching this, and frankly, guys, it felt like I had gone to the YMCA to watch guys play pickup basketball at the end of the night instead of watching the NBA on TV. I just think that they're trying to be something that they're not, and it just didn't make any sense to me. But I promised the audience I would watch it.
He did. Episode 1, you guys tracked us. He's not a fan, man, and he said, "Look, let me go and check this thing out." I will say, though, you came back with more knowledge than I thought you were going to come back with. All right. I think it's a product that needs to find its, product market fit. We said this in the first episode. Most of these products that are coming out new right now, it's like in their current form, yeah, they're kind of struggling. They're not hitting it yet. They don't have the players that you need. They don't have the names that you need to really grab the views and grab the storylines, and the production value isn't there yet because they don't have the budget yet. And, will they get there? That's my question to you.
But you can't act like you're something that you're not, guys. And that's the problem that I have is we've got these amateur guys coming out, which I don't mind them trying to come out and play. And we all do it when we go play with our boys and we're playing in scrambles or tournaments, but they're not authentic. And it ultimately comes across on the screen to me is that you've got guys that are trying to act like they're pros and out there and they're playing for this
But look,
purse.
they're not faking it to make it. Like, they're doing it. The question is, they haven't found their voice yet, maybe. Right. So again, I'll press you on that.
YouTube Golf is unapologetically whom they are. We know that good. We know that the guys are not the best golfers in the world, but they don't try to act like they are. This to me just felt like I would rather go watch real golfers play. I'm talking about PGA golfers go play.
I on some level, I agree. A lot of the broadcast was, it didn't hit yet, but some of it really did. I saw shining moments of this is what that product could be.
So what
again,
would you pull from this?
I'm going to press you on it. What could the product become? Do you think it will find its way?
I think that if I'm going to watch this, I don't like the current format. If I'm going to watch golf under the lights, frankly, I think that some of the night golf that's coming out of Dubai is a better product than what I saw here. And it's real golf on a real golf course.
Yeah, I hear you on Grass League. And yes, I agree. It has not fully found its footing yet. There's traction there, though, and it has a lot. Like the views speak for themselves. It is novel. It is different. I think what is most, and I speak for myself, having frankly watched more YouTube golf in the last 3 weeks or so since we've been doing this and having to figure out and become more knowledgeable about YouTube golf. I get it now. I see what the appeal is. The appeal of YouTube golf is that, and I think frankly, part of the problem with golf is that we had the PGA Tour up on this high pedestal for so long that you're watching the best of the best compete with the best of the best day in or week in and week out, that everybody kind of needed a reminder that even a scratch golfer, a +2 or a +3, just is going to get demolished by Ian Poulter. And that's what YouTube golf captures so well is these are the top 0.5% of amateur golfers. Talk about like the Bryan brothers or the good guys or Grant Horvat. But like PGA professional, like PGA caliber golfers are that much better. And this is a unique and novel way, YouTube golf in this case, it is a unique and novel way of showing the general public and sports fans writ large that maybe wrote off golf for a long time as this stuffy, like, again, up on a pedestal sport. Like these guys go around and they swing sticks and they're all really good at it, but like whatever, it's not relatable. It brings relatability. It brings authenticity. It shows a different side of those golfers that we didn't get to see before. And that's why the best YouTube golf channels are doing so well.
Yeah, guys. So I think that for me, when we're talking about all these leagues, and you guys have already heard me beat this horse, but at the same time, like YouTube golf, TGL, Live, the problem that I have with especially grassroots, TGL, is it's good golf, it's watchable, it's fun, but it's not unmissable. And I think that that's something that I love about YouTube golf and PGA Tour is I crave to see what's going to happen with the next post, who's going to come out because it's in real time with PGA Tour, what's going to happen in the next tournament that's coming out. And it's unmissable. And that is a formula that you have to figure out if you want to be able to make it to the next level. So every time Bryan Brothers post a video, I have to watch it. Every time Good post a video, I want to see what these guys are doing.
But to the topic, what formats need to go away? What formats drew you to these guys? I mean, obviously you're drawn to the characters, right? Someone's going to connect with
personality.
I love the Bryson breaking 50. I love it.
It's unmissable.
Yeah.
Every time he posts
it's
it
so
now.
entertaining.
And
it's
you're
so
new
good.
You're new to the YouTube golf, and you're already now finding that you're craving it to see when he posts next.
Let's also not forget that part of the whole fracture of Live in the first place, and one of the big gripes, and Phil was a big proponent of this too, was that the players couldn't profit off of their own name, image, and likeness. And look at Bryson. I mean, Bryson's channel in 2024 had a 1,300%, 1,300% viewership increase.
To be
monthly
fair on
estimated revenue between 30 and 80K a month.
There are a number of series that each of these guys come out and do. Like Bryson, he originated the Breaking 50. Then you have other people trying to do it on their channels, which is still a great format. It's now being reused on some of these other channels. And, you know, it's like, who can do it? Can I do it?
Bryan Brothers, can we beat Ian Poulter in a 2-man scramble?
And that's a different format, though, right? It's like 2-man scramble and 1 pro. Like, I think a format on YouTube is, you know, the characters and a pro.
Yeah,
Characters and a pro.
You know, the greatest form of flattery is imitation, but I don't think that I'm not going to tune in to watch Grant Horvat try to break 50 because he's not at the caliber that Bryson is. But I will watch Grant play with Bryson. So you've got to have your own unique voice when you're on these channels. And it's been a lot of fun the way that Bryan Brothers have brought in some of the top golfers in the world because these guys they've won PGA tournaments. They've won web.com tournaments. Both of them are exceptional golfers, but they're not good enough to make it in the PGA Tour right now. It doesn't.
So you've got scrambles, right? That's the Breaking 50 is like a 2-man scramble format, and that could go stale. So he's even changed that up to be a 2-man versus 2-man, where both of them are in a foursome trying to play 2-man break 50 and another 2-man break 50. So there's a bit of a dual competition there. And you do have match plays out there. There's a lot of match plays on YouTube, whether it's a 2-person scramble versus another 2-person scramble in a match play or a 1v1. You see a lot of that with the Bryan Bros because they're both pretty damn good golfers.
So these skins.
I've seen some skins play, yeah, 100%. You know, the Live Duels is an interesting one where they came out and did essentially 2-man scramble, but the prize stakes were huge. They were pros against pros paired with creators. And then you've got stroke play. You know, like this is definitely a danger zone because if you're with the worst players, you know, they're obviously not going to do great. Do they throw handicaps on that? Do they not? You know, then there's a ton of these gimmick formats, guys. Like,
yeah, 3 years from now, I think that we're going to look back and everybody's throwing everything against the wall right now. We don't know what format's going to stick. I just think that it's quite obvious. Some of them are clearly working out better than others right now.
It's not what's going to stick, though.
I don't think the format matters as much as the
personality.
Call it the content, call it the personalities here. Because, so throw some stats out here. YouTube golf audience demographics. 98% male, ages 25 to 54. 50% of Rick Shields' audience is under 35.
So the opposite of that is 98% of women watch the Kardashians.
Yeah, this is our version of what did we say last time? This is our version of trash TV.
Yeah, it's men's reality
TV. The point I'm trying to make is that for young, call them golf fans, call them they're YouTube golf fans, let's say. Like for those young fans and the people that are watching these channels, Fat Perez and Grant Horvat are just as synonymous with golf as Rory. For those kids.
CrossFit had its moment a couple of years ago because people felt like they were drawn into a community. Here, now guys feel like they're a part of a community once again, and we've been craving that for so much. And we can sit there and talk about this amongst each other. Yeah, there's a reason that all of this is on the rise right now.
I think it just brings the attainability level of can I play golf? Can I have fun with golf? Down. It brings that bar down so that the average young player or average golfer who's there, like, you know, he's like, I'm not that good. You know, don't bring me to your club. Like,
makes it more attainable for everybody.
You can still have fun even if you're not going out and playing 18 holes of stroke play.
The only downside, though, is that we are not teaching these young golfers etiquette. And I think that I see that when I'm out on courses, that guys are not fixing ball marks, etiquette. They're not fixing the ball marks like they were before. They're not fixing up divots in the middle of fairways. They're driving carts around way too close to greens. There's certain things that here I feel like golf has become more of a mainstream sport, but we've dummied down the participation where guys just don't respect the game as much as we used to.
Well, I think that's more tied to how many new players there are. and how little knowledge there is around what
Yeah.
proper etiquette is for the game. I mean, I remember when I was coming up and there was the first tee. I think most young players were kind of put through a little first tee type program or something like that. And that teaches you most of these rules, at a younger age. But when you have people picking up the sport in, middle of high school or even in college, that they've never played it before, it's not a part of their family structure, they're like, I like this. My friends are doing it. I want to do it. How do they get to learn the etiquette? Like, that's the tough part. Like, they have to go to sim golf, they have to go to Top Golf, they
Yeah.
go to, their local muni or par threes, and they start to see the culture and the vibe in those levels. And hopefully there's enough players out there and people that teach them that. Golf YouTube teaches people that to a certain extent. I see them, constantly pushing, like Brian Bros are out there, they're playing, they take a divot, and they're like, "You gotta fill that divot," right?
Yeah.
Like they're teaching them as long as they're engaged in the content, they're listening, they're watching, they probably will mimic. It's just the fact there's so many new ones that they just don't have it.
I mean,
Don't have it yet.
honestly, that dovetails really nicely with the next segment. Is talking about like the demographics of golf right now. These are 2024 numbers from the National Golf Foundation, just to touch. I mean, and it is a problem. Like, how do kids learn how to fill their divots, or, not drive a golf cart right up to the green, or whatever it may be? There were 47.2 million Americans that played golf in 2024. That's an all-time.
Unique.
That's an all-time record. Yes, including on and off course. So that includes simulator rounds, 9 holes, par threes. 28.1 million of those were on course. That's the highest since 2008. There were 3.4 million, so not 10%, maybe 7.5%, 8% first-time golfers. That's a record. And it was the 5th consecutive year, this is going back to COVID stats, of 500 plus million rounds played globally.
Wow.
Actually, I think that's just US.
I mean, astronomical stats. If you didn't realize the game was growing already, you didn't feel it, just feel it. Like, the stats just speak for themselves. And that's why the business models are showing up. That's why the products are showing up. That's why people are really trying to grow that game. But I think it's not grow the game in the way people have been selling it lately. It's growing the products, the availability, the accessibility. That's the part that I think is really growing because new golfers are coming in. And I mean, we go back to the Gen Z mental health thing. And if you think about the loneliness epidemic or whatever, I mean, this sport gets you outside, gets you away from the things that are causing the problem, and it puts you with friends, right?
It's also one of the only sports in the world you can suck forever, but you always feel like you're progressing.
You just love it. You
And
still
that's a
love it.
rare attribute of modern day society. So it always brings you back. And we all know that you can have a horrible round, but you hit that one good shot, it'll bring you back for the next one.
Yeah. That's the thing. Most people, when they think, "Oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not getting into this. I don't have time to practice." Unless you are just terribly uncoordinated and just can't play sports at all, you should try it. Get out there. The bug will hit you at some point, right? You just play it a little bit, play it with the right people. And I think environment is the key, right? You got to play with the right people in the right environment. Find that place that lets you kind of get in there and not feel, I don't know, pressured. And that, again, that goes back to what the younger players are being drawn to the sport by. So
The average golfer age is down over 1 full year since
what is that?
since 2018 to 2019. It is 43.6 years.
Wait, in 1 year it dropped by a year?
No. Since 2018, 2019.
Okay, well, that's actually a pretty recent stat, though. We're not talking like of, in the 90s to the 80s, 90s. We're talking, modern golf recent stats.
18 to 34-year-olds now make up 30% of new private club memberships.
And if you think about that, 2018, pre-pandemic, right? And then post-pandemic numbers. Makes sense. And, that's a whole nother thing we're going to go into when we bring back up night golf courses in another episode. I mean, it's it's really interesting to see how people said, yeah, well, pandemic exploded the game, but it's gonna retract. It has not retracted.
Yeah, the bubble's gonna hit at some point, guys. And I think right now the biggest threat to the game of golf,
I disagree.
slow play is the biggest threat, and it will cause people to walk away from the game.
That's the biggest threat to traditional, like purist golf. Yes.
I disagree
I
that
don't,
it's a bubble. Absolutely not. I think we've already shown that it's not a bubble at this point.
I wouldn't argue with that. I think we've broadened the definition for what golf is. What is growing the game? It's go to a simulator, go to a par 3 course, go walk a muni.
Yeah. Play it on your Nintendo, interactive
Top
deal.
Golf was a dumpster fire of a deal.
I mean, look, Top Golf is a classic overvaluation, VC, private equity, sort of like shuffling of cards to create something that, is now more pressured on its income than its product innovation and growth. And they did have a great platform.
Callaway
Eh,
did.
Yeah, I think when it came out, it was huge. It was hot. I loved it,
Yeah.
honestly. And then the product got degraded because of, the focus on returns more or less.
Quality, cost, average person to Top Golf now only goes back once. I mean, you don't have repeat customers, and you're going to die with that at some point.
Steve Jobs said it better than anybody else. You build a great product, the money will come, right? And you have to put innovation and product first. And that's what companies like Topgolf stopped doing. The second a company in the golf industry stops putting product first, you're going to have a fall off, and the bloating of valuations made that sort of like private equity exit issue.
This is great fodder for a golf and business, or the business of golf segment that I want to do.
So guys, like, comment, tell us what you want to hear about on golf and business. This is a segment we're incubating right now. We're going to talk to not just entrepreneurs in the space, not just business owners, but the game itself, the business behind the game. What makes it tick? Why are we getting these products? Why are people testing not just new media formats, but the things that we are playing? What's behind it? I think that really it sheds some light on the technology that goes into a club, for example. Like, why are we buying certain types of drivers? Where did that come from? So get in the comments, ask us about what we should be talking about in golf and business.
And if you own a club manufacturer like Lab or Callaway, and you want to invite us to come talk to you, and you want to tell us what's working, what's not working, or if you own a golf course and you want us to come out and play around with you, we are happy to do that at any point.
All right, to wrap up the YouTube golf segment, we're talking about formats, what needs to go away, what's clickbait, what works, barring to the side, the characters being what really drives us to channels, the guests being what really drives us to channels. What are these formats that need to just go away? What do you think, guys?
I think that'll shake itself out. It's not going to be overnight. It's going to be over time, as particularly as events like the Internet Invitational continue to evolve in future years. You'll see what formats they're using, and that's going to trickle down to the individual creators, and then they're going to start doing it more often in their channels because they want to get ready for the next Internet Invitational and they want to bring guests on to do it. I think you'll see formats that just filter themselves out because the ultimate driver of YouTube golf, frankly, right now are the eyeballs and the clicks, and the proof will be in the pudding.
If the channels are tracking stats the way they should be, they should see what performs and what doesn't, and start to filter out those.
Yeah, the ones that seem to be working the best right now, you've already said it, the personalities coming through, but I haven't personally enjoyed the formats that are like you've got Bryson playing with Trump, or they can be controversial because you're bringing in those that hate Trump, those that love Trump, you're cross-posting. You've got also Bryson playing with Steph Curry, and all of a sudden, I knew he was a good player. I didn't realize how good he was, and frankly, he outplayed Bryson overall that particular day in the shot at 48 in that round. I mean, just great, exceptional playing from a guy who is one of the best basketball players that's ever played the game. So I think that right now we are learning so much watching these various formats. And it's going to be a lot of fun to see where it goes. I still get a little lost when you've got the Internet Invitational. I understand the stats that were huge behind it, 25 million views coming out so far behind it, which again, more than the Masters were this year with the guy who broke the Grand Slam, got his first Grand Slam.
Different difference though, because
Very different formats.
you have evergreen views versus views of people all at the same time on
Yeah,
a broadcast.
on all
So
different channels, and I understand that it's a different format, but it's going to be very interesting to see where this goes. But going back to the Internet Invitational, it was a little too busy for me right now. How do we tighten that up moving forward to make it even more engaging? Because that's what I love about YouTube Golf is how engaging it is with the players and the audience. And again, it makes it unmissable where the consumer can't wait to tune in to see what's going to happen in the next round.
when you have one player on camera, it just doesn't work. You need two or more. You got to create some sort of stakes. It doesn't even have to be high stakes. Doesn't have to be.
Nobody's going out
250,000.
watching Bryson by himself.
Yeah, well, I would.
They'll watch him they'll try to watch him make a hole-in-one over his house.
Yeah, well, and those are like shorts though. That's a totally different subject. But the only one that I loved with a single player was Bryson prepping for the U.S. Open at Oakmont. That was a cool video to watch. You see him actually talk through. That was wild. But anyway, so you need to have 2, 4, even 6 people on camera. I think you can have too many on camera. Then YouTube golf majors or championships, self-proclaimed championships. Everyone's just kind of creating it. They're just saying, okay, here's our YouTube
It's like the WWE and the WCW.
It's so good.
World champion.
It's title inflation, and I know it's to drive clickbait, but I think at this point you're reaching a level of maturity across YouTube golf where, people are curious who the best players are. Like they want to see matchups, and you see it in the comments. You see the creators start to come out with these videos that are like they've been asking about George Bryan versus one of the Kiwi boys, Toombs, right? And they played that one because evidently people asked about it. Now you can see, how did that match turn out? Maybe in a year they'll do another match. See if they can
the Bryan brothers played Brad and I forgot who he was playing with the other day, but great.
Brad Dalkey and oh man, the other good guy. They both were pros or semi-pros.
Brad won. He was NCAA Player of the Year, so it was top level talent out there, and they're probably 4 of the best golfers to come out of YouTube right now. I'd say 4 out of the top 6 best golfers.
Yeah, I mean, barring the ones that are like full-on pros.
Yeah,
right now, because they're obviously we've got Jason Day, we've got Phil Mickelson, Bryson. These guys have pretty good channels now that they're developing. But yeah, YouTube golf majors overblown, title inflation, clickbait. There's a reason why they're doing it, I guess, but I think they can hone that one in. I think across YouTube, the channels are already doing great crossovers, which is one of my favorite things to watch. When I see one channel getting on with another channel, seeing just the personalities collide. So if you can create a YouTube golf major, I think the closest thing that I saw that felt like it actually was one was when Bob Does Sports and Brian Bros and I think Grant Horvat, a couple of the guys were all out at Black Desert. And I think there's a bunch of videos they all filmed when they all flew out there. But one of them they called the major. It felt like a major. It was cool.
I need to watch that.
Hey guys, so the next topic I want us to all talk about today is going to be event formats and what's your favorite as we're getting older to play in and to participate in, to watch. So what's your takes on this?
Like formats, we're talking scrambles, 2-man events you play with your buddy, members, your member events if you're a part of a club. If you're not, you're probably chasing down tournaments. Where are you finding those tournaments? That's really my question.
Yeah, and we're all 3 at the level of golf where we like to play in tournaments. I would like to say, I don't want to speak for you, but we all play in a number of tournaments a year. So what do you like to play in now?
I mean, look, I'm a sucker for a member guest. Most recently, we did a 3-club tournament for 18 holes.
That's fun.
Member, yes. Member guest, obviously, yes. I really, outside of like club life, I really enjoyed the Golf Digest Open series that we played in earlier in the
That's
summer.
right. Yeah, no, we also great value. Like some of these pop up out of nowhere and you're just lucky to find it, and we were lucky enough to, because we're literal golf nuts, that we were scrolling and go, oh, Golf Digest has an event and it's in Nashville. Why not? It was $300. And on top of that, the giveaways, we had no idea what they were going to do, but your tee gifts you get at a lot of these scrambles.
It's probably
and different tournaments.
$500 worth of stuff.
Oh yeah, 100% 500. Actually, here you go. Here you go, guys.
Yeti mug, Cobra backpack, a $200 Puma / Cobra golf gift card, if memory serves. It was a great tee gift.
It really was. They're fun formats. 2-man events are pretty cool. It's you and a buddy against the world, and then I don't know. The scrambles, they'll have something to them because you can get 4 guys together.
Scrambles are a blast.
And you can play for great causes.
And you can bring people into your point earlier, Josh, that like, I don't know, I'm not that great. I don't want to go out and play 18 holes of stroke play golf, but like, well, can you swing hard at a golf ball and maybe you hit a 1 straight drive out of 18? Can you hit a putt if I show you a line 3 times?
Yeah,
then come play a scramble.
Scramble gets everybody involved, and I love a scramble. Scrambles also, I think, if I have a bad hole, or a bad shot, my partners have a chance to pick it up. The older I get, scrambles, 2-man scrambles and 4-man scrambles become more my favorite format out there, because I don't take the game that serious anymore. I'm not trying to go out and break the course record and get mad if I missed a 7-foot putt that just slipped out. Like, who cares? We're out there to have some fun.
My club did an alt shot tournament this year that I played in.
Oh, wow.
The
tournament was alt shot?
It was 30. Yeah, it was 2 days, 36 holes, alt shot.
So the member guests are clearly the king of the, private club or member based events, the member guests. But you also have sim golf groups or clubs that come in.
In-Town Golf Club did their member guest a few weeks ago.
And sometimes they'll do them in the simulators, but I've seen them also organizing trips.
They do that too.
And then the trips are around a format, 2-man or a scramble type format, or a pro-am, a pro plus 3 or 4 other players, and they go out to a really cool course. And because they're a member of that club, they have the camaraderie that you have of kind of a regular club. And they're able to go off and do the same events just on real courses. And that's a cool thing where they're bridging, virtual back into real golf as well. That's an interesting one. For me though, man, I love playing all of these formats, but the king is 2-man best ball. I think that you get to see who. Look, I like competition. Okay, like real competition.
It's fun.
I want to see what
there's pressure.
I don't like winner 100% handicaps. I'm fine if you're going to do a handicap based format, but do a net and a gross, a net winner and a gross winner. And on the net side, it should be 100%. It should be like 50 or 60% of your handicap is given in strokes. It's because
somebody's going to cheat with their handicap, jump in there, inflate it. We've all been a part of tournaments. The guys do that. One that I've never done, but I really want to be a part of is a Hickory tournament. And I want to get out there, old school clubs.
We used to do that. I wasn't a member then, but my club used to do that until this year, actually, and they replaced that format with the 3 club.
Okay.
Another one that's really cool, if you are a member of a golf club, I like inter-club competitions.
I wish we did more of that.
I don't know why they don't. It would be... especially
so
in
much
town.
more engagement amongst the top clubs. Yeah, if you did that. Go back to your 3 clubs. What'd you play with?
I played with a 3-wood, a 6-iron, and a gap wedge.
Okay, yeah.
I remember we were talking about our strategy on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I arm locked a 3-wood.
I would have just putted with a wedge, and I already putt with a wedge 60% of the time.
It's really about event discovery too, because if you're not a member of a club, or you're not already involved in the charity organization that's putting on the scramble, how do you even find it? Like, we were lucky enough to find the Golf Digest one.
It was a great opportunity for, like, talk about the comments, like, tell us how you're finding this stuff and tell us what we should look at.
There's not really a single place I go to like search for events. You might get lucky and see a message board somewhere.
Where'd you find the Golf Digest open? Instagram?
I get emails from virtually every golf company on the planet just because I sign up for the emails and I don't unsubscribe those. I mean, maybe what you do, and this is maybe a little bit of a life hack.
It's 2025 and the email newsletter is alive and well.
Yeah, man, for real. But a little life hack: open a new email account, Gmail account, specifically for your golf life. Okay, and just go and sign up for like every brand imaginable, all the golf communities, all the YouTube golf groups, and then capture all those emails. Maybe you'll get lucky one time and find some events. I will say this, Golfer's Journal, been in there for, I don't know, 5, 6 years. I only played in one. I had to cancel twice, two different events that I was gonna go to. One was for the opening of the second course at Gamble Sands, and man,
That would have been awesome.
but my son was born, pretty good, excuse there. But they have a great community. I mean, I don't know how many
This is a Golfer
players.
Journal?
Like a little more serious community, right?
I love that brand too. Like the broken tee, it's clean.
Lifestyle.
Yeah.
It is fun.
Yeah, golf doesn't need more players, guys. It needs to be more discoverable. And that comes from the YouTube golf community. That comes from Live PGA Tour. That comes from guys trips. Like we all know, and the guys that are, and the people that are watching this probably understand, like a guys trip to Bandit is one of the greatest experiences that we can all do as a golf nut out there. Going to Pinehurst, staying in the community, staying at the Old Lodge, playing. Now they've got 10 courses, I believe, at Pinehurst right now.
That's right.
And you're playing 4, you're playing 6, you're playing 7, and you finish the week by playing number 2 with your boys. Even if you shoot 108, it needs to just become more discoverable. And that's the fun about golf. And I think we're all at that stage of life right now where we just want to go share the great rounds. You playing at the Keep, you playing at Macklemore. That's one of those things that you love sharing with us and the member guests that can come out of that. So if you're going to go out there, yes, the Golf Digest tournament was a unique one for you, but I think it's, again, all about discovery. Is where do we go to share the game that we all love with the people that we love in life?
I think there's also a problem with charities. I mean, these are charities that are trying to raise money for a good cause, and 80% of the players that actually do find it just want some prizes and have fun or whatever. But how do they fill the field?
And a reason to not work on a Monday.
How do they get exposure to their charity? Well, 100% on that. How do they fill that field? How do they get 42 teams or whatever the number is at $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 for a team, so that they can continue to do the work they're doing, the charity work they're doing? And there really isn't a place to be like, oh, here's the 20 events that are in town. And I'm bringing this up because this is a problem that I've been thinking about a lot, and I have been incubating something, been working on a little bit of code with some guys to bring something to the market that might help us with this exact problem. So, if we're lucky, we'll launch this prior to next season. And we'll tell you a little bit more about it as we come. But it could be the solution.
Yeah, and guys, again, comment, like, subscribe, comment. Tell us how you find your tournaments. What's your favorite tournaments that you like to play in? And again, if you've got any fun ones coming up and you want us here at Golf Nuts to come and play in it, be with you guys, interact, please let us know.
Leading into our final segment of the day, and one that's going to be a recurring segment on the show, handicap crimes. Today's question is sandbagging worse than a vanity handicap? Josh?
All right. Depends on what you're doing with this. I think that every golfer has been a liar of their handicap at some point. We have all had a vanity handicap at some point because you might be a 5.6 handicap, but you want to say that you're a 5. And I know that that's a minor thing, but when you're going into a tournament, especially if I'm playing in what we just talked about in the last segment, a member guest, and I've got a guy coming in and he's claiming he's a 12, but he's really a 5. I hate sandbaggers who step in and lie just so that they can have a one-up on their competition.
So let's talk about what a handicap is and back out of this for a lot of the viewers here. Like USGA came out with a system. The system is supposed to make golf on a level playing field for the rest of us. You can play with a scratch golfer and a 12 handicap because he's a 12 handicap, right? He gets strokes on the 12 hardest holes on that course. Now, if you do 70% of those, right, it'll be 70% of 12 on those. Now, it should level the playing field. It should give that 12 handicapper a chance to compete in either match play or stroke play with that scratch golfer. By definition, a golf handicap is a numerical measure of golfers' playing ability that allows players of different skill levels to compete fairly. Lower handicaps indicate better players, and the number reflects how many strokes above par a golfer typically scores. And that's calculated in a very specific way that has been adjusted from year to year. So the USGA will come out. There's an app. You get it what they call a GHIN, GHIN, and that is something that any golfer can look up. They can look up Pat's GHIN. They can look up Josh's GHIN. They can look up my GHIN, and supposedly you're not actually able to quote unquote lie, but you can input the wrong scores to make your official GHIN number either higher or lower. So that's really what we're talking about here is a vanity handicap, as in, do I just want to look cooler? Do I want to say I'm a scratch golfer? The big debate around YouTube golf is Riggs really a 4, right? Or do I want to win my member guest because I got 4 extra strokes?
But that's a blend of the two, though. Like this Golf Digest has a great quote that I found when I was pilfering the internet to get ready for this show. Like communism, golf's handicap system is rooted in good intentions, but is an infrastructure that is easily falsified and exploited. That's one. 2, my take on this question is sandbagging is absolutely worse than a vanity handicap. Sandbagging, you're lying to other players. Vanity handicap, you're just lying to yourself.
Sandbagging, you're also lying to yourself that you know when you're taking that trophy home, as long as you're not
but it's adversely affecting people that you're playing with and against. And that's more of a compromise of the integrity of the game.
And
one guy's
your
opinion.
Personal integrity, to Josh's point.
But I used to play in a tournament out at Golf Club in Tennessee, and year in, year out, I won't say names here, there was somebody won it 3 years in a row. And every single year they would come back and they go, I never play this good. And we all would roll our eyes and as they're sitting there collecting their trophy year in, year out, going, you sandbagging son of a bitch. And at the end of the day, like, I hate playing with sandbaggers.
Or the Yip Strickler fans out there, sandbagging rats.
Yeah. I think there's a couple ways to think about this. So at the end of a round, you're supposed to put in your score. And then
Good,
your
bad, or
handicap.
ugly. Yep.
Yeah, bad or good. Now, there are some exceptions to that rule, right? If you play a match play event and putts are given, right? So I gave Pat, an 8-footer because I was just going to lose the hole anyway. I was already, double bogey or something. Well, automatically, we don't know what his actual score would have been. And that happens multiple times in a match play event. So you're not going to put that score in. And then let's say you're playing by yourself and you play 2 balls down. And what are you going to do? Which ball was the first ball? And, you can't put that one in. That's more of a practice round. But I'd say most golfers aren't lying to others. They're lying to themselves and they're under posting.
Yeah.
And
this is one where
most
the
golfers aren't
traditional
putting
18-hole
everything out
stroke
there.
play goes into the GHIN app, nothing else.
Say again?
This is one where you have to be a purist when it comes to the handicap. Imperfect though it may be as a system, it's 18 or 9 now. 9 holes or 18 holes, stroke play,
Yeah.
Here's
that's what
here's
you
one
would-
controversial take that I want y'all's opinion on.
and put it out.
If you put out everything, if I'm out there playing, especially with my boys, and even if I'm going to post this is something that I will die on this hill. If I hit a perfect drive, center of the fairway, and we get up there and I'm in somebody else's divot, if I'm not playing in a tournament, move it out of the divot.
I think it's the dumbest rule in golf.
That's a bad rule. If you move it out of the divot and then you hit the ball, does that constitute a score you should put in?
Then you can't theoretically post it in because you didn't play it as the ball lives. None of us are going pro. Move it out, play the ball.
I think you can still. That's more excusable than like somebody giving you a 5-footer.
I think you post that score all day long. You move it out because of one big reason. Most of the events you're going to play are probably going to have a 1 club length rule, especially in the fairway. They'll say, look, you can move it 1 club length in the fairway. The course has been in hard conditions, or something. There's some rule of why they do that. Now they might not allow you to move it 1 club length off the fairway in rough, things like that, unless it's very bad conditions. So I mean, if they're going to give you that in those tournaments anyway, then why not? Why not put that score in? You should put that score in.
Hit it off of grass. Unless you're in a bunker, then don't hit it off of grass.
I mean, if you're chasing AM status, then this conversation probably doesn't mean anything to you, and you're going to be hitting it out of a divot for the pure practice of figuring out how you can pull that shot off. But that's a different subject.
Just to conclude on this, so the app Cap Patrol, that's a mouthful. Here's just some stats from them. Cap Patrol estimates that 2 to 4% of all players need a handicap adjustment. That's actually not as many as I thought it would have been. Do you guys know what Cap Patrol is?
Yeah, that's not as nearly
No,
as
what
what I
I
would have thought.
no, what is that?
Cap Patrol, it's a software that clubs can subscribe to, and it kind of does a handicap audit of every player
I have heard of that.
for tournaments.
Okay.
Couple more for you. Less than 2% of golfers play better in tournament rounds versus casual. I could agree with that. Any golfer playing consistently more than 5% better in tournaments is statistically questionable. Golfers should place first no more than once in 8 tournaments over 2 years.
Really?
Now, I think that's like the broad spectrum of golfers. If
that
you're
depends
talking
on
about
the
somebody
field.
that's going hard and like trying to improve, like that's one thing. I think this is pretty much like the broad swath of club golfers, like weekend warrior types. And this is a USGA stat. A 10 handicapper shooting 72 should happen once every 194 years.
Again, though, it depends on the fields you're playing in. If you're at your club and the club is, disproportionately bad golfers or good golfers, it could change that. There's a lot of different
variables,
factors
for sure.
there. How often you play in tournaments, this probably assumes people are playing a certain amount of tournaments per year. But okay, there's another side to this. When you're calculating a handicap, whether it's on 9 holes, 18 holes at, golf club A, B, or C, there's a course rating, right? So you've got a course rating and a slope, which affect the difficulty of that course. And that can move your handicap either up or down. So if you're on a difficult course and your handicap is a 5, you might actually get 7 or 8 strokes because the slope and the course rating are giving you that bump. So I think there's a flaw there more so than anything else. I put in some scores that have affected my handicap in ways that didn't make sense to me. I looked at the tees that I put in. You got to make sure you put in the right tees because it affects the rating, affects the slope that's applied to your handicap. And man, I don't think many courses are rated properly.
I agree.
I think courses need to be
Absolutely
rated
agree.
more accurately.
It's a flawed system, but
You're asking a little bit more about Cap Patrol. I got some stats on that too, and just kind of a broader overview about what it is.
Yeah.
It's used by over 1,100 clubs and that covers over 620,000 golfers. They use 43 data points across 5 primary criteria. There's a peer review feature that notifies playing partners of your posted scores.
Mm-hmm.
And clubs that use Cat Patrol average 55% more unique winners than those that don't.
That makes sense.
Score posting increases, speaking of the sandbagging rats, score posting increases from 60% to 86% after implementation of Cat Patrol. And it costs clubs $6 per player per year.
$6 per player. I mean, on a club that has, say, just 100 players, $600 a year. Mm-hmm. Double that, $200, $1,200. I mean, if you're a private golf club and you can't afford $1,200, $1,800, whatever the number is, you got a problem. Josh and I have been on the board, and I believe Patrick on the board of a couple of these charity events.
I've played in them. I have not been on boards of any of the golf tournaments.
One that old business partner of ours runs. We played in it. We should have had more teams, I think, at that one. But the winning score, can you guys guess what the winning score was?
Is it 4-man scramble?
4-man scramble. Handicaps aren't a part of this. What do you think the winning score was?
Well, how tough was the course?
It's a Chattanooga Muni, decent course, a lot of dog legs, not super long, but you can't cut those corners.
1.
Yeah, 17 under should be a typical score for a winning team. Anything above that, I'm starting to question you.
61.
Yeah, par 72, par 70. What was the par? Sorry. Yeah.
Was
49. It might have been 46.
Was he playing with Kim Jong-un?
I also don't know why I said 62 for a 4-man scramble.
Do y'all remember Kim Jong-un shot the best round in
18.
recorded history?
Yeah.
18 under?
No, he just has the best public relations team in
was it 3 or 6 hole-in-ones that he had in that one round?
Or 5s.
It'd be 18 hole-in-ones, right?
I mean, he started everything from the green.
Yes, but I have the same reaction when you're telling me scores that are coming in like that, except for I will tell you one story. So, I will continue to tell our audience about this. It's a charity I feel deeply about, even though I've just stepped away from the board. But Hearts to Honduras started the first Down syndrome school in Honduras. We also educate about 467 kids, K through college. And we do 4 medical trips a year. So we do 2 golf tournaments annually, one in Nashville, Tennessee, one in Atlanta, Georgia. Great tournaments, really proud of the work that they do. But one year, my group came in, and my group had already won it about 3 times at this point. So kind of the big dog coming in.
I won it. And took it out from under him
the
next year.
And his team name was Josh Comes in second and ended up losing that year. But I didn't come in second. I came in third that year. But, we don't have to bring that back up, Brian. But so one year when my team lost, we came in the group in front of us. We shot 18 under. They shot 21 under. And I came in and I was like, y'all are lying. There's no way they just beat us. And we're playing at the number 2 course in the state of Tennessee out of the Grove. So I came in, I was pissed off at them. And it turned out that they were all, they all worked for Seymour Putters and they all played either on the PGA Tour or web.com. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, yeah, they 21 makes some sense.
That's a real number. Yeah. I remember helping you guys out with that a few times. I mean, we got bourbon brands in there. Heaven's Door helped us out. I mean, charity scrambles they're really cool format to not just have fun on the course, but just have fun.
And you're doing it for a great cause too, and I like that. I like the scrambles, that go back and they're giving back to the communities or to an event. Kids,
they are not traditionally fast though.
No, I mean, you take most of the day off, and you're doing it for the kids. Fast, you're doing it for the kids.
No, but that one's
I just wanted to scratch your existential threat to golf as pace of play.
Yeah.
Okay, so to wrap up, handicap crimes, this is going to take on a couple of different forms as the segment recurs in future episodes. We're going to talk about what we're seeing on the course, what we saw in tournaments, what we're seeing on the internet. But, okay, for you guys specifically, what round do you not post that you should post? What's the type of round and why?
I've got one that I know that I have not posted scores from.
One that I only get like 12 holes in that gets rained out or whatever. I'm pretty religious about if I play, I post it.
But I'm with you. If it's rainy, really cold, really windy, and I'm out there,
that.
like by the end of it, and I'm half-hearted into it, and I'm just wanting to get the heck out of there. I know I'm selfish. I have not posted those rounds before.
I hear that. Yes, I have done that once or twice too. 100% agree. Head's not in it. You're just like, I just want to get out of here. I want to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm out there playing, best ball or just playing my own ball down with some friends and any putt is given, I probably don't put it in. I probably should put them in, and maybe I could just putt those out anyway, and I probably should putt those out anyway. And that's the thing that I need to, like, probably change a little bit, because if at the end of the round, I'm like, "Man, we just flew through there. Pace of play was our primary focus. I just took the putts and we ran off."
This is probably a no-no for the handicap police out there, but if I'm playing in a round and someone's like, that's good, I still will go up and putt it, and if I miss it, I add an extra stroke. If I make it,
yeah, I mean, if you miss it,
and then at the end of the round, you're
playing stroke play at that point. You're not even taking the gimme. But look, note for anybody that's actually in a tournament: if a putt is given, walk off that green. Like, take the putt.
Don't be that asshole who putts it.
Otherwise, you might also get penalized. Right. I think there's a rule around that.
There's a rule. Mm-hmm.
Here's another one that's situational just to me, but I'm guilty, and I'll admit this to the audience. Recently, I played around with Brian. Really wasn't into it, but I'm coming off of a broken collarbone and some fractured ribs. It was the first time I had really tried to swing a club, and I was really at about 85% swinging. He was giving me putts. I was putting with wedges. I just wasn't taking it seriously enough that I didn't even think about posting that. So is that one that...
It's a practice round.
Yeah, it's a practice round.
Thank you guys for listening again. We are Golf Nuts. Pat, Josh, Brian, like, subscribe, comment, get into the mix with us. We want to
comment and tell us what you want to hear, what you want to see, what you want to listen to.
Again, if you want us to come play and you've got some cool tournaments that you think that we would enjoy, please write us. Leave a comment. We'll DM us. We will get back to you. If you've got some cool clubs that you think that we should look at potentially putting in our bags coming this next season, let us know. We're happy to always take a look at things like this, or a really cool product like we showed you guys the simulator earlier. These are things that we love, and we want to be able to bring it to all of y'all as well. So if we find a cool product, we want you guys to know all about it too. So
this is just the start of these giveaways, guys. We are giving away this simulator, one of the first 200 subscribers on YouTube, on Instagram, on Spotify. So sign up, and once we cross 200, new prizes coming on the books. All right, we're going to set a new milestone. The prize is going to get bigger, and it's going to continue to do that every single time we hit new milestones. So make sure you get in there. Thank you, guys.
Stay sharp, Golf Nuts. Peace.